Hey guys, wow, so it's 3 in the morning and I don't know if I'm actually going to post this video or I'll just keep it in my own little arsenal of memories, but I do like making videos when I have a lot on my mind and when certain things happen and I just want to kind of look over my thoughts and have them as a reminder. I've done this a lot in the past when I was a lot younger, and it's really interesting for me to see what I was talking about and then to kind of have a different mindset as, you know, months or years have gone by and just kind of understood where I was coming from or what I thought in the moment was so important maybe then wasn't, or maybe it really was, and maybe it was some monumental moment in my life or some incredible idea that I was coming to realizing and understanding. So with that being said, bear with me on this little bit of a ramble, and if I get emotional in this, I might. It's some deep stuff and it's very special to me. I love talking about spirituality and human connection and understanding and the point of life and just love and all of the intricacies that go into it and things that make us human and things that make us feel and have emotion and have connection and truly I think connect to others and have that incredible experience that sometimes we are so lucky to get and to have and to study in a way, because I think it's important to recognize feelings and emotions and to understand them. I think there definitely is a time and place for just letting things flow and ride out and just appreciating them as they come, and I'm definitely trying to be more present in that, just taking little snapshots in my life of moments when I'm really happy or I feel really loved or I feel really appreciated or I just feel insanely grateful for the seconds and the time that I'm in and the person I'm with and what we're doing and where we are. But also I think that there is a lot of benefit in reflecting on things and thinking back and kind of speaking things out the way that you feel them and then kind of looking back on that. So to jump in, I guess I'll give you guys some background stuff. I've spoken about the twin flame journey before. It's very in-depth, so I think that if you are really truly interested in it, you can look it up and kind of read up a little bit on the basics, but basically it is something that you go through within your soul, and it really is a cleansing, and it's an chance to kind of become ultimately like the version of you that you are supposed to be through trials and tribulations and love and heartbreak and kind of dissolving of your ego and dissolving of a lot of ideas and situations and things that have been blocking you from unconditional love and from having that for yourself before obviously you can even have that for others. And for really understanding what you want, what you value, what makes you feel loved and desired, and just kind of understanding that having those feelings is something that is a privilege, not a right. I think that's really kind of an interesting way of looking at it. I think in this day and age, so many people settle in relationships and are so happy with, kind of like the bare minimum of effort and the bare minimum of feeling and emotion, and I'm not at all knocking that, because I do think for a lot of people that's a much more comfortable, safe, and understandable position to be in. Having a really deep emotional, mental, and spiritual connection with someone is really hard, and it's really uncomfortable at times, and it's very, very vulnerable, and it very easily can become something that overwhelms many people, and that a lot of people just they don't want that. They would rather just have a nice, easygoing relationship that's simple and doesn't have much to it and is pretty straightforward and doesn't really push them to become any different than they are. I don't think that obviously you should try to change your partner or who you're with, rather accept them and also kind of understand why they are the way that they are. I think there is so much to that people kind of overlook. I do believe that there's kind of a reason for everything, and there's a reason for the way people act or the way that they don't act, and understanding that and truly valuing that and really caring about that is also something really special. I think to have someone that wants to understand you, that thinks you're special and important enough to where they really truly care about all the reasons that were put into you and built up your personality and your behavior, I think that's really special. And I do think a lot of people just don't do that and don't want it, and they don't really care. They just want to be with someone where it's easygoing and it works, I guess, on the surface. And I think if you're someone like me, you have always had this feeling that there is someone out there that is going to make you feel a certain way. There's some relationship that is kind of the ultimate relationship, and maybe you've had relationships that were good on paper, they should have worked in certain ways, but you just didn't feel that, and you didn't feel that intense desire to be a better person with someone. And that to me is kind of the ultimate sign. So kind of going off that aspect, a twin flame relationship is something that just happens. You don't go looking for it. It happens when your soul is kind of ready to take on all these changes that you have to make and to become a better person and to work on some things that you need to work on. That's the biggest thing. Like, I do think people that get to have it are very lucky in a sense, but it is something anyone can have. It's something that everyone can achieve. You just have to be open to it, because at the end of the day, you get stuck in a twin flame relationship or union or situation because you have some things that you need to kind of fix and address within yourself. And by meeting this other person that literally has half of your soul, it's very clear to you what you lack and things that you need to work on and things that you're running from, things that are built up in the ego, situations that have happened in the past that have left you scarred and different and changed and maybe a little bit jaded. And for me, just to kind of break that down a little bit, so in the past, some things that I have struggled with in relationships, obviously honesty and, just feeling like I could really trust someone. I'm very skeptical as a person, so it's definitely difficult to go through situations where you've been lied to and you've been betrayed, and then to still want to trust people blindly and to give them that benefit of the doubt that they're a good person, that they're going to be there for you and they're going to do the right thing and make the right choices, and then ultimately just be honest about it with you. It's very, very easy, obviously, to lie and get away with it, but I think something that's interesting is the more spiritual you become, the more you are able to read people's energy. You're able to really kind of see through them in a way and see things that maybe they're hiding. And it is so interesting when someone is trying so hard to hide certain things from you and it's just so apparent. It's so evident. It sticks out so much more. And it's kind of ironic that the more, negative things like that you go through and the more work you do within yourself, the more easily you can pick up on that kind of stuff. And you probably look back at certain situations and you're like, how did I not see that? But, it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the evolution of you becoming smarter and more in tune with yourself and knowing what you want and what you don't want. And I don't know, I think it's important to recognize that, not to beat yourself up too much about it. Also, I've had a lot of problems in the past just with other girls. Obviously, I live my life online, so I'm pretty public about things, and I have had relationships and situations that were very public before, and some of the stories, I wish I could tell them. Some of them are just stuff that I'm probably never going to get into, but some situations of people literally trying to, cause issues or create problems in your relationships just for the benefit of being able to say that they did it, or being able to have some sense of they could do that, I guess, in a malicious way. And I think it's really interesting to look at that, because obviously with that creates a lot of trust issues and things about honesty and stuff, and also just kind of negative reflection on other women. And I never wanted to feel like that, because I make these videos for girls. I like connecting with girls, but I definitely did used to have a lot of distrust for women, because I have literally had girls do some really terrible things to me in relationship related instances. And the interesting thing is to look back on it all is it never worked out for them. And I think the reason is because when you do things with a malicious intent and with a dishonesty and with the intent to hurt someone else, the universe is never going to respect that, and you're never going to get that back in a positive manner. And I kind of got to the point where I just realized letting go of all of that is so freeing. It's so good to, be in a relationship or be with someone in a connection and not worry about the outside people that are trying to interfere or cause problems or whatever, because at the end of the day, you feel secure in your own relationship and that connection you have with this special person, that anything anyone else does that's coming from a place of malicious intent, it's just not going to affect them in that way. And hopefully you're choosing people that are, enlightened and awakened enough to also realize that and to understand what's going on and to be aware of that and mindful of your feelings as well. And I think that's a big thing with ego, just realizing to let other people's actions kind of go and to not dwell on them, to not be upset by them, and to not feel victimized by the way that other people choose to act. At the end of the day, that is a choice. It's something you can decide to do or not. And it's also just so incredibly freeing. I also think because I'm so interested in relationships and dating, I've done a lot of research. I've asked a lot of guy friends and, you know, boyfriends and exes and whoever, friends, just about what works and what doesn't work. And I know that there are so many tactics and games and different things that you can do to get certain results, to produce anxiety in people and to produce some sort of longing, some sort of hard to get kind of game style. And those things do work, but they work on people that are not emotionally and mentally and spiritually super mature. Like, they're not going to ever work on a relationship that's going to be built on unconditional love. You can't, you know, love someone for everything that they are and everything that they are not and everything that they will become, but also be playing mind games with them and just choose not to text them for a whole day and, you know, just like try to do things that intentionally hurt them and bother them to get a reaction. I think that that is such a childish thing to do, but so many people do it. And, you know, I've been there for sure. And it's really interesting to get to a point where being a really openly loving and vulnerable person feels like strength. And that is something for me that I think ultimately on the twin flame journey has been the biggest signal to me that I'm becoming a better person and I'm becoming more of who I want to be. Just realizing that the way that I want to present my energy to people and the way that I want to be remembered is as someone that was very loving to them and accepting and open and warm and inviting, to a point where they question why I'm doing it. And I think that's the most incredible thing. And I've had that happen. Like, people have asked me, like, you know, I don't deserve this. Like, I didn't treat you like that. Why are you being like this? Why are you not upset with me? Why are you still giving me this love and this grace and this understanding? Why do you care so much? And, you know, at the end of the day, all I can really say is because that's like the person I've become now. And I don't know, it's just crazy because it like wasn't me before at all. So I do have to say that it's all because of going through like the twin flame experience and, you know, meeting someone that just like dissolved everything that I thought I knew about love and being a good person and caring about people. And when you get there, and I'm crying because I'm happy, I'm not because I'm sad, but it's really amazing to just see the transformation that you can have in your life, because ultimately this person is not making you something different. All they're doing is opening yourself up to the potential that you always had. You always had the potential of being loving and honest and having that unconditional love and that trust for someone and that, you know, true good intention for them. You always had that within you, but it takes someone coming into your life and making you display that. And I hope that makes sense, but it is just the most overwhelming and like powerful feeling and situation to be in, where you recognize that breaking down all of your ego walls and all of the things that would hold you back from, you know, explaining how you feel, or for being really honest, or for just being really understanding and loving. And I think that at the end of the day is the biggest thing. There are so many situations that we go through in life where we can put up those walls and those boundaries and we can push people away and we can, you know, get upset with people and stay mad and, you know, decide that it's just, you know, weak, or it feels like you are, I don't know, not being strong in a way to just give them that unconditional love. But it's ultimately so much stronger to get to a point where you see people for who they truly are and you accept them in that way, and you hope to inspire them to become better and to open up and to trust you and to be able to accept that unconditional love. But at the end of the day, you give that. And I think that that is just so incredible. And I do really hope that for anyone that this resonates with, if you are someone that you've always felt like deep in your heart you have so much to give and you're so sensitive and you have so much love and devotion, but you feel like this day and age people don't accept it, they don't appreciate it, it's not like the cool thing to do, it's not what's natural to relationships right now that are so casual. Oh my gosh, like, you know, dating in this day in life is just so different and so crazy that I see why a lot of people don't ever get to this point, because you get some reactions that are like, this is unnatural. Like, why do you care about me like this? Why do you want to help me like this? Why do you literally love me in this way? How can you? but it's not really about them in a way. It's actually about you. It's something that you were always able to do, and I think when you meet someone that makes you want to be that, that's like the craziest thing ever. And it's really special, and it's really, it's just like hard to explain, I guess. But it's something that I wanted to document because obviously it was something that was weighing on my mind, and it's something that has forever changed me. I'm definitely so different than I was, you know, even a year ago, 6 months ago, a month ago, a week ago. It's wild how much I've been changing and how much more close I am to the ultimate person that I want to be and the person that I know I have the ability to be. And a lot of it is just from softening my heart and having that forgiveness for people, having that unconditional love for people, and just like that understanding and that, like, I don't know, that ability to like see people for who they really, really are, and like to really see them. You know, I think it's really sad that a lot of people kind of aren't used to that. Like, they're not used to that feeling, and they're not accustomed to it because it's just not how other people act, I guess. But it doesn't matter. Like, it's about you. It's not about, you know, the end goal. It's not even about being in a relationship or about any sort of reward at the end of it. It's literally about the ultimate reward, which is becoming just a really, really good person yourself, and becoming someone that can love unconditionally and can make others feel this love and this feeling that they haven't ever felt before. And I think that's really incredible and really special. And there truly is no way that we can grow into who we're meant to be unless we leave behind who we were and ultimately who we were pretending to be. And there's a very definable shift in your life before and after you have a twin flame experience, you go on this journey, and you have a lot of this self-reflection and this understanding. And it's just really wild to look back on, you know, different ways that you used to be, things that you used to say or act or do, and then kind of the transformation that your heart and your mind and your soul have taken on. Yeah, and just the journey to become a better person. But I hope that you guys found this video interesting. I love talking about twin flames. I think it's really, really fascinating. There's just so much to it. And I could, you know, try to explain my whole story, but at the same time, it still is something that's evolving and changing and unfolding. But I just had, you know, an experience recently that really just kind of showed me how much progress I had made. And it was crazy because I didn't even feel that until in the moment I was giving so much unconditional love and care for someone that I realized that this is what I ultimately wanted to be able to do. I wanted to be able to break down every wall of myself and every boundary and every, you know, mind game and thing that I used to do, and, you know, ego that I used to have about not wanting to show people how I really felt, or, you know, just unconditional love in general. And I realized that that all had been erased. You know, it wasn't without a lot of trial and tribulation, but at the end of the day, it's pretty incredible. So anyways, if you guys would like to learn more about this kind of stuff, you're interested in spirituality, you think I should talk about it more and kind of go a little bit more in depth on the twin flame experience and what happens, what to expect, how to deal with it, let me know that I can do that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Stay blessed and stay happy. Bye guys.